Hello. Welcome everyone to FPL Jedi Show. This is the Gameweek 18 Deadline stream. My name is Hafiz, and I would like to welcome Azmin to the stream. How are you, brother?
I'm good. How was your Christmas?
Yep. So far the break is nice. I think it's timely for us to wish everyone Merry Christmas to whoever celebrating the festive. I can safely say this is the crunch time. The Christmas period is upon us. The game week 18 until 21 will bring us 4 deadlines in 11 days.
Yeah, for us over here in Malaysia, it's actually school holidays as well, so we're really chilling, and some of us are just taking off totally. But at the same time, we can't switch off from Premier League and wondering which teams are gonna manage to get some team news in, and
Mm.
knowing full well because of all the Christmas celebrities, there may be not enough time for some teams to have any team news, which makes it a very risky period from Christmas all the way to New Year. And at the same time, um, I'm just laughing, thinking of myself. Okay, which player is going to end up running foul of some Christmas mishap, fell off the roof trying to fix their decorations or taking off their decorations, and randomly disappears from the lineup this week. It's you can never say no to any of this kind of nonsense happening. So we'll just
Yep.
see.
Yeah, interesting. I think if that happen, will be a funny one. But it is really a period that we need to be careful, or we need to be alert also in all the team news. That's why we are here. We want to gonna share the team news for all the teams that are gonna play this week, and we can also say that 2 players that has been reported will be out. This period is Bruno Fernandes, almost in field sub out at halftime against Sevilla. So later we can see in terms of the team news about Ambrin what saying about Bruno Fernandes, and also Isaac who will be on surgery, right?
Yeah, Isaac's out for a few months. It's very frustrating for as a Liverpool fan, but at the same time, for those of FPL managers out there, it does mean a player like Ekitike becomes a really must have type, depending on your perspective. And it's the same with Manchester United, with Bruno getting, it's the next best attacking player is actually Cunha, with Mbeumo not around, Ahmad not around, so he's expected to shoulder the burden, which makes him a great asset, because we also know, I am from personal experience, for someone who had Cunha a lot last season. I know, I'm quite aware of how much he can carry a team. When everyone else, bar a few exceptions, have more quality, but he really takes it personally to drag the team to win or lose. But he'll be there. So these are the sorts of things that can really impact. These are the sort of absences that can really impact in terms of how you choose your players, which is why we're all here to discuss it, talk about it.
Right, good stuff. I think we are looking forward to this Christmas period. At least for the next 4 deadline stream, we plan to have those session for sure. I think last year we kind of like missed some of those moment, so hopefully
Yep.
this year we can just be there, because as you all know, if I can share, the schedule will be for this festive period, at least from above giving 18, 19, 20 up to 21, which is will be on 6 or 7 January. Okay, so these are the 4 deadline that we need to be aware of. If let's say in terms of Malaysian time, macam like today, the Friday night deadline will be at 2:30 a.m. And then on Gavin 19 will be on 2 a.m., which is nice on Tuesday night for us. Okay, and
Uh,
then game week 20 will be on Saturday 7 p.m. Which is on the 3rd Jan, and then after that game week 21 will be at 2:30 a.m. So plenty of night deadline for this.
sounds exhausting already. Dear gosh.
Right, expect heavy rotation, injuries, and suspension, and those are the things that excite us, especially during this period.
Nice choice of words there. Yeah. So it really is a packed period for us. So team news. I mean, it's a part. Is this is when your squad really comes into play because there will be some random absences. So hopefully your squad is there. Please make sure your bench is workable with at least the goalie fine, but out of the three remaining players, at least two of those players should be starters who can come in. Because it will happen.
And we'll also remind to managers who haven't used all their chips yet. Game week 19 will be your last opportunity to use whichever chips that you have, whether wildcard, triple captain, free hit. But you will still have four, then you can only use two of those chips for the next 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. This is where, if you remember, a few, maybe a month plus back, where we were talking about where these chips were, and then I was saying, don't wait till the last game week to use something like your triple captain and Bruno Fernandes against
Mm.
Wolves. I'm pretty sure I did mention this because you never
Yep,
know
yep,
what
yeah,
might
yeah.
happen. And look, and that is the injuries happen. So this week looks like the place for people to use the TCs. From the looks of it, with City playing Forest, as which is Forest. It's 17th. Yeah, because and then you have Ekitike, of course, Liverpool playing Wolves. Yeah,
Yep.
because come next week, the game week 19, aside from Manchester United, unless you want to really go all out and triple captain Cunha, there isn't really any straightforward picks for you to triple cap. Yeah, Liverpool versus Leeds is there as well as an Ekitike option, or and words if he suddenly blows up tomorrow night. But yeah. So but it's people who weren't ever considered to even captain up until last week. Yeah, so it's just plans blown out of the water. Bruno Fernandez was always triggered to be nice triple cap, but now he's not available. So yeah, these are the things that can happen.
Yep. Has already happened. Cunha, game week 19, triple captain. Wow. Okay, nice if they stay healthy. All right. As you can see, both of us in on a green arrow after the game week 17 fixture. Take a quick look in how we perform in game week 17. Mate. You scored 103 points and myself 86 points. We do not activate any triple captainship because I already used it in game week 16. And the average point was 66 points, mean. So 103 points. Who are your heroes in last week?
Well, I guess from because the early move where I sold, because I realized first I was getting rid of Saka because I just didn't feel like I wanted to have him. Yeah, I know, keep by for just 1 week and then sell him off again. But and then at the same time, I needed to figure out what to do with KDH because the news you shared in terms of um, that he's going to be out for quite a while, and during this period, I can't afford to have that a non playing player injured on my bench. So I decided to pull the trigger. So I pulled the trigger and brought in and sold Thiago for Ekitike and Saka for Rogers, and also KDH for Tavernier. Yeah, so
Wow.
Tavernier didn't do much, but Ekitike did pretty much as per expectations. As in not hauling, but decent enough, and getting bonus in that respect as well. But Rogers was a wow, Rogers two similar goals coming from the space because I just was against Manchester United. I felt like this it's gonna happen. I was just very fortunate and lucky that this is his third 15-point score. I think game against Leeds and West Ham where he did exactly more or less the same, 2 goals, um, and make running off with a max bonus point. So he is the complete hero. But of course, I have to mention my back line, all keeping clean sheets. Ballard, of course. I love him. I'm just waiting for him to get another set piece goal like he did in against Arsenal. Hopefully, Timber finally came off with a clean sheet. Anderson
That
late.
is your signing of season.
And Anderson was annoying simply because up until the 90th minute, I think he was on 10 points or something. Yeah, and then he proceeds to get a yellow and then loses the bonus points as well,
Oh,
leaving him. So very, very frustrating. But anyway,
unlucky for both of us.
can't be too near about it lah. At the end, it's still still yeah. And of course Cunha who I already have also scoring, and Palmer as well. So Palmer slowly building up, and actually he got a lot more minutes this week and in this game week, and
Yep, yep.
and then as we'll find out later with the team news that Barisca did say something about him ready to play 90 minutes. So I'm nicely set.
I can sense that your team are really ready for the future, and people are hunting for Cunha, Ekitike, even Rogers this week. You already have him.
I'm
Have those
looking for
players,
someone to move to make.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm loving your team, and Palmer, like you mentioned, spoiler, Marika, you mentioned he is ready to play 90 minutes. So you're in a good position. That's all I can say, man.
yeah. I'm just fortunate. So for yourself, I guess you got
Yeah.
the back line
So
as
so
well.
if I yeah. So for myself, Timber, Anderson like yourself, but I have a different kind of backline, so-called XG, who are and potential keeping cliche. Man City, I have one. I have triple City assets already in defense. Foden in midfield and Haaland. Foden finally blank after 4 game week, continue to deliver double-digit haul, I suppose.
Yeah,
So this thing can happen. So Foden is a human after all. Okay, and then Bruno Fernandes,
yeah,
who I think the stat shows that Bruno Fernandes has not been injured for ages, right? Like he missed like 2 games for the past year. So I guess this finally happened. I saw that game Villa versus United, and then Fernandez like pull up his leg and hamstring, and like at 42nd minute, and he decided like try to play until the halftime. So I'm not sure whether that aggravated the injury a bit, but that's what the Bruno attitude is. Want to play as much minute as possible. But at halftime, I can see Bruno will start out, and he later we will know about Amarin and Bruno Fernandes. He might be out for a while. And Semenyo, 10 points. I think that's what it's meant for Bournemouth against Burnley. Not a bigger haul than only 1 goal, but that match end up with 1-1. But Semenyo got all the 3 bonus points, which is nice. Saka blank. And if you, let's say you have Rice this week, you have that 11 points instead of Saka, who got 11 points last week. Minte continue to disappoint. That's all I can say. I think I have him for the past 3 game weeks. They will be my fourth one against Arsenal, who I might not have or bench him. But it is what it is. I think if anybody ask my advice whether to get Minte for, I don't know, later on, I will not suggest it, right? You are already in this position. And Haaland, like whoever triple captain last week, will enjoy that 16 points extra for sure against Saka last week, 11 points. Thiago.
yeah. Good job. Good job, I guess. Although I see Alderete on your bench, but hey, it was going to be hard to bench anyone. The only possible there would have been maybe Minte, which is a stretch. But it's been covered by pretty much all other YouTuber or all other content creators. But just the point of Bruno Fernandes being, I'm also laughing about it where when he pulled up, it almost seemed like what's this feeling? How come like because he's so unused to injury, and then he's just like,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
what do I
yes,
do?
yes.
And then I'll just play it. And then it wasn't just he was playing; he was taking
Oh yeah,
corners.
yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, did he? Because when we
Akik
pulled
juga.
up, yeah, exactly. And even the BBC was saying that oh, he pulled out. It looks like it could be his hamstring. And then, oh no, he's continuing. Oh, and then even the commentators a bit confused. And then of course then we started running side bets as to whether or not he'll come up after halftime, and looks like he did it, and sadly he didn't. And I just want to point out the irony for me, someone who has not had Bruno Fernandes this season. The moment he gets an injury, I jump in my rank. So it's like,
Oh,
but at the same time, now that I look at your rank, I'm thinking, oh, here I am celebrating getting into 1 million. Hafiz, you just about you just on the precipice of getting into the top 100,000. So well done. I didn't know you were was really that close there. So let's see how we are by the end of the year. So good luck to that one.
right. Okay, that's in the past for Gameweek 17.
Yep.
Let's look into the future. But before that, would like to welcome Azli to the stream. Assalamualaikum waalaikumsalam. Welcome to
Salam.
our deadline stream. And here on the report, the captain Gameweek 18. I think that could be an easy one or is not. Later we can discuss. All right.
Yeah.
Who is going to play the fixture for this week? It will be an early game Friday night, which is a tasty one. United versus Newcastle. This will be the first test without Bruno Fernandes for Amorim team. And Newcastle also desperate for points, which they should have won last week against Chelsea, I suppose, because they led 2-0 at halftime, but then Chelsea equalized 2 goals in the second half. So Newcastle are looking at whether this could be another game that they want to. This will be an interesting game, and I'm looking forward if I can wake up and see at this 4 a.m. game in Malaysia. But just want to see whether how United perform without Bruno Fernandes and whether Cunha is a real deal, right? So and then on Saturday we have Forest versus City. The City at second place right now. They are really hunting for that first spot against Forest, who are in the bottom 3. If I'm right.
No, they're 17.
17. Okay, so they're also desperate for points to make sure they are not going down, right? So it will be a right. And then we have 11 p.m. matches, 5 matches to be exact. Arsenal versus Brighton. We have Brentford versus Bournemouth. It will be Burnley against Everton. Can Burnley get points? They are also desperate. Everton lost. I think lost last week. And Liverpool versus Wolves. This is the money ball game that everyone looking over to. And then we have West Ham versus Fulham. We know about West Ham's situation. We have also at the same time high flying right now. They managed to get what they will against Forest last week. And then we have Chelsea versus Villa. Villa on a really high for 10 win in a row in all competition or something like that.
Yeah, in all
so
in Premier League it's 7.
Chelsea also Chelsea in the 4th spot right now. So they also want to gather some pace soccer into that league title conversation. We have Sunday match will be Sunderland against Leeds, 2 promoted sides. It'll be an interesting one. And then Crystal Palace close off with against Spurs,
Nice
who are more performing away than at home. So these are the fixture for this week, man.
Yeah, of course, this is in the Liverpool Wolves Moneyball game. Although to be fair, how we get to it is really a problem with all these players missing and players who you would never have, we gave up on quite early in the season, which is where suddenly he's becoming the point. And it's not so much of Liverpool's performance, but it's more about Wolves' performance. Everyone's targeting Wolves because of how dire they are and how and even, gosh, last week. When Strand Larsen stepped up to take that penalty, it was so tak confident langsung lah. Got no confidence there, even though it was supposed to be equalizer, like not equal, a goal that actually put Wolves back in and be able to hunt back, but no, it was the equalizer didn't happen, and then KLP scored for Brentford, so it was quite disappointing, and it felt like again, because they played well against Arsenal the week before and still ended up letting in 2 own goals. Yeah, so the that's it for Wolves lah right now. So it's really about
only 2 points.
Yeah, so we have to target for FPL. We no mercy, so you target. So it's just who are the right people to target. That's the other thing. Yeah.
But I still recall. I think last week Arsenal against Wolves, we thought they should win week. So I'm just a bit wary whether Wolves, I don't know whether that they can come up with that kind of performance against Arsenal. Like 2 weeks. Arsenal versus Wolves, they should win week, but Wolves did like.
Kan tu lah.
So I'm not sure. but we still going to target Liverpool players for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I just
Until
yeah, okay. Yeah, let's go to the team news that we can discuss further.
yeah. Okay. These are the matches for this week. Let's go the first one, which is United versus Newcastle. Obviously, right? And as we all know about Bruno Fernandes, let's reveal it, mate.
Yeah, so Bruno Fernandes is Gaming 18 and Amorim saying, I don't want to see how long. I got an idea. Let's see. I guess. But I can expect Amorim ni pun tak biasa. Amorim dia. Apa selama di alamak aku jadi manager boleh pula dia injured. So anyway, my point is sorry went into Malay a lot more there. But it is causing a reshuffle of his resources and surprise formation change possible. I don't know. Okay, so obviously you have players like Mason Mount who will come in as well, and Sesko could be so in a way there are people to fill in the spots, just we are not as effective as the previous ones, maybe not. So this is the question. On Newcastle, Mick Pope could return to training. So the thing with Pope is that Ramsdale, apparently from the looks of it, he doesn't inspire confidence in his backline, which is a problem. Even though Pope is guilty of some of his own errors as well. Yeah. So other than that, Botman out, Burn out, Lavramento out, Trippier out, which is 3 out of the 4 main backline previously. Best 4, but of course people who stepped in like Fabian Shah has been great, then Lewis Hall is also. So this game, which is tonight, there's only one Bruno on the field, and it's Bruno G, not Bruno F. But it could be a bit of a goal fest, this one. I'm not sure there's Manchester United's defense is, you can throw it to the wolves because we know it's a problem. But Newcastle's defense is, because of all these absences and disruption, means that they're not gonna likely keep a clean sheet either. So I wouldn't be surprised if this game ends up with a 2-2. I just hope. I have Cunha on one side and Bruno G on the other. I'm just hoping that I'll benefit for.
Yeah, it'll be a nice one, especially have those two players fighting each other for this game. I'm definitely gonna wake up if I have those players, man. So,
Yeah.
but this is interesting one because we did mention offline about Cunha is on everyone target, but he's still owned by lesser than 10% managers right now.
Yeah, not a lot. And actually, if you look on the Newcastle side, because the problem with picking the midfielders and even the strikers is minutes. Because you've got this hectic schedule and you've got midfielders of not too far away in terms of their ability. So you got Barnes, you got Murphy, you got Elanga, and then you have Gordon as well. So who do you pick? Because rotation will happen. We've already Gordon has only completed 90 minutes once, the first game against Villa. So he has never made it to 90 minutes as well. So this and we want him because of course he takes penalties, and the following week they play Burnley. But it's really a problem finding it out. And even at the striker side, you got Walter Mender. Wisa is now fit. Who do you pick? Who's gonna you argue that Walter Mender would most likely be first choice, that race, but then Wisa, of course, he's gonna fight. And Newcastle don't look like they're capable of doing a front two formation yet. Two strikers. But so which makes it hard to pick Newcastle players. Yeah, which is why Bruno G, who not an issue, well, but yeah, because I did look seriously at pick Gordon and seeing, I just don't like his minutes.
Yeah.
But so for I'm putting it on hold for this because it against Manchester United and I heard they're Bruno, so I want to double up next week against Newcastle, next week against Burnley. Let me see if I can find space. Fixed player, Manchester United.
Pick players United. I think everyone going for Cunha right now. He should be on penalty after that moment Bruno Fernandes is not around, and he is owned by 8.5% managers as of now, which is nice.
I just want to point out now because of all the absences and injuries, Dorgu gets the start and he's at 4.1. If you don't mind that he's not getting a clean sheet, but he did get an assist last week. So at 4.1, I think it's nice. If you have chances to spare you, or you got players injured in your defense, then Doku could be an option for you.
Right, good stuff. Fine, Hidup, hi, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Next game is Forest versus City. Is there any potential injury from both teams? So please share some news.
Yeah, so it's really the Undoy Wood and Yates are still going to be out. Wood. The whole FPL world seems to have forgotten about him, and it's very frustrating because Forest at this stage, I found out this morning that they were fourth in the league. Now they fourth from the bottom, so just shows how much management turmoil can happen, that which we saw at the start of the season. So Aina returned, but then it's not likely to start this one, so most likely it'll be the same squad last week, that lost against Fulham. Then you got City, Rodri much better, who decide. Well, of course we won't pick him, but Doku is still out, so you've still got Foden, Chersky, and what's it, Reindeer. Yeah, so and people are looking to is are we gonna captain Haaland for this one, because it is possible. The only Well, there's two caveats actually, because one is because it's away, which isn't really a big deal for Haaland. But the only thing is that it's an early kickoff for Saturday. So those of you a bit sensitive with that one. It's probably why you're looking at options like Ekitike as well. Yeah, but I don't think Haaland is the issue with that one.
Right, good stuff. No issue for Man City players, especially if let's say you have whoever like must have Foden. Really, I'm not sure. I don't think there will be some rotation issue for this game at least. All right, but that Forest versus City can still be a tight game. Sean Dyche game plan for this game. All right, next one which will be Arsenal versus Brighton. They did play in midweek for that Carabao Cup quarter-final match against Palace. So, but there are some injury concern, especially on the Arsenal side. So, what's the latest news?
Havertz in a matter of days. Gabriel hasn't trained yet, but he's stable in his rehab. So okay, Hincapi missed midweek, so that's a case. So we don't know what's going on there. We're gonna hope he's fit. I did try to stroll around the Arsenal forums, but didn't really get any information. So it's a risk with Hincapi. And I do wonder if Hincapi is not around, is Arsenal's defense gonna be even worse without him? And now they're already missing Gabriel as well. So yeah, that's the issue there. Brighton, so Dunk was suspended, so Gomez and both should be able to go back to the starting lineup. So Welbeck will train today. I'm sure he wants to play this game. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Van Heck should be fine. It's just illness, so he should be back. Weaver being monitored. So Weaver has been a bit of a nice sleeper pick FPL wise.
I can see some people
playing
are
quite
choosing.
first row forward, but the cheap price. But yeah, maybe not against this match. So this one, I
We do
wouldn't be
expect Arsenal
surprised
to
if
win, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if Brighton got something out of it. Yeah, but yeah, it's Arsenal did play midweek, although to be fair, their squad was the rotation was quite big. But some of the first team did play. If I remember, even Saka did come in for a short while as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they say they start, but then Saka come in. I think same goes for Rice. I think he did come in later.
Yeah.
But
Miles
at least
Kelly played finally, but yeah, he's not likely to come in.
I think Timber played from the beginning. So I think that's
He did.
I
How
think
did I
so.
not see that?
I think so. You can just double check.
I'll check. You can move on to the next. But if it does,
But if let's say you are and Hikapi
he did.
owners, and then you have like light bench, what would you do with Hikapi if that's one of your player, and you don't have money to upgrade to like Timber and so on? So
I mean, if you don't have funds or you don't have transfers, it's gonna be tough.
it's
Because
gonna
right
be tough.
now,
That's all I can say. Yeah.
I you're gonna have to go for a cheapie. You know,
But definitely you
Hinkapi.
have options.
Hinkapi is how much is he?
5.4,
Okay,
5.5
so,
now.
so he's not that. He's not that. So you could just go
Yeah,
for
yeah.
KLP. Ah,
Oh,
anyway, God.
hebat lah, hebat. So if Hikapi
Tell.
miss this game, Timber will start, then
Why is this
Califury
playing?
will come in and Luz Kelly play on the left side.
Yeah. So Hinkapi. The thing is, with Gabriel, at the shadow at the back there, is if you think he's not going to be fit, sell him and pick someone else up. Because he's not going to last. He's not going to keep his starting lineup much longer if Gabriel does come back. So if you want to sell, sell.
Right. Next game, which is Brentford versus Bournemouth. I think Brentford got a win, like you mentioned. KLP scored 2 goals last week, but Bournemouth only drew against. So
Yeah.
how this game will pan out, it'll be an interesting one. What's the latest news for both teams?
So we know the people away from AFCON, and we got players like Carvalho and Da Silva has been out for a while. So with Dango not around last week, it was KLP slotted in, and obviously did a great job, 2 goals against Wolves. The thing is, when Nelson was brought in at the start of the season, it was to actually cover for Dango when Dango is not around for AFCON as well. I think that's part of the thing. But now with KLP pretty much responsible for winning against Wolves, you'd expect that they can't suddenly bench him this week. So he will definitely start. Maybe he'll less time with Nelson back in. Nelson comes in. The thing with KLP is that because there's no security, and look, I'm considering him, okay, but there's no security in him just because he's got 2 goals that he ultimately is going to get 90 minutes the next. If so, I would say that whether or not he appears for the midweek game largely depends on how he does this week. If he manages to score at least 1 goal, then you may just secure his starting lineup place. So if it's something you guys want to consider, I'm considering, and I've been monitoring, and I've seen his percentage ownership slowly rise. So meaning that it's something to look at. Bournemouth, so no real changes. Okay, now I just want to quickly talk. The thing is, Bournemouth has such a bad record against Brentford. Playing at Brentford, it's quite bad. 4 draws for losses or something like that. Yeah, for the last 8. So it
Okay.
does make it great. And one thing, hey, Hafiz, just now you're covering your team. Just now failed to mention Kelleher saving penalty.
Yeah, I forgot
Uh,
about him. Yes, he's one
so
of my
so
performer last week. Saving a
so of
penalty, yeah.
course, yeah. So of course, one of the popular players who'll be turning out in this game is Semenyo. So
Yep.
but of course at the same time there's all this news about Semenyo now maybe going to
Uh,
City.
uh.
So I don't know if there's any risk of, but Ariola supposedly said he talked to Semenyo and said he's gonna remain professional. It's not gonna like get distracted, blah blah blah. So we'll see how that goes. Um, for Brentford, who do I want to point out? Thiago, who's subject of many sales
Yep.
this week, to bringing Ekitike. But I don't know. I think for this week, it really, I wouldn't be surprised if Thiago did score as well. So it's just a case of, I think both Thiago and Ekitike will score. It's just whether or not Ekitike scores more enough to make the transfer a success. Yeah. So I think both. If I had Thiago this week, which I sold him last week, I'm not so near about selling him this week. But yeah, that's just my
That's the dilemma that managers are having this week for sure. I think Michael Johnson did mention, but how about Kevin Shade from Brentford? He didn't play last week, right?
yeah.
Suspended, is it?
Yeah. I mean, if you remember, I've always thought about Sade as someone who could potentially come in, but never really got around to doing it. And he's very popular this week amongst content creators with a feel for the analytics side. So apparently, some analytics
7.0.
tools have pointed in terms of how he's doing. He's one of the better options this week. Uh, I don't know. So if you have space in midfield, then yeah, yes, yeah. For me, I don't have midfield space. I have defender space that I don't mind. So um, it's the thing is you have to look at how okay. Brentford has 3 home games in the next 4, so which is
Yep,
pretty
yep, yep.
yeah.
That's
So
one of the reasons. It's a
so I think
Bournemouth, then
Sade,
after that Spurs, right?
yeah. I mean, for me, because after having sold Thiago last week, and then this week I'm getting seller's remorse and wanting, oh, I wish I could have him back, but it's impossible. Which is why I was looking for alternate actions like Shade and KLP. So yeah.
Okay, all right. If I have Thiago, I might not want to double up Brentford. I don't think that's near. But if let's say
Mm,
you don't have any Brentford players,
yeah.
Shadi could be an option. But at 7 million, I would rather have Bruno G. That's my feeling. The Bruno G,
7.
Captain G.
Get a bit more got Gordon
Yeah.
who takes penalties, but
Gordon 7.3. I think yeah. At
yeah,
seven
a bit
million,
more.
slightly lower, you could get Soboslash next week, not this week, right?
Yeah, bloody so far.
And a bit more you could get Rice at 7.2. So I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm feeling for those players. Okay. Burnley versus Everton is the next match that we want to see in terms of the team news. Burnley, as we all know, did manage to get the draw last week, which is
Yep.
nice. And this will be a vital game at home for Burnley, makes for much latest news.
Yeah, so Burnley Esther faces a late business test, So this is not great for those who are looking to bench boost this week. Burnley against depleted Everton. If you have Dubravka and Esther, it would be nice. But if you do have Esther now, late fitness test, which isn't great. Other than that, Tuanzebe is still out, and of course Foster is away. Foster Tuanzebe out for Afcon. So Everton, no changes. Jared Braithwaite coming close. So Grealish did play midweek. Jangan Gana Ofcon. Dewsbury Hall's out. So obviously last week Everton had to play Arsenal, the top of the league. So it was always going to be a tough ask to be able to adapt. But this week might be a bit different now that they've had a bit more time. Players like McNeil coming in. I would not. Okay, I have a soft spot for McNeil from last season, so I wouldn't be. I would like to see McNeil score. But the thing is, even if this is the one match where playing Burnley, and we're not really seriously considering any Everton players to exploit this matchup. Although I did notice some Jack Grealish things, but Jack Grealish isn't. He assists some more than scores. So I don't think it's worth spending a transfer against Burnley where Everton might just win 1-0.
Okay. Right. I'm eyeing someone like James Gunner at 5.0. I'm not sure whether he's worthy, but at least he's cheap. He's also on he's taking corners. But the other bad side is later we shall see. Gunner is on 4 yellow cards, which is not nice.
McNeil is
Because
5.5. It's also not very cheap either.
all right, good stuff. Let's go next match. Liverpool versus Wolves. Definitely want to know what's the latest news for Liverpool players. Gakpo, Conor Bradley. I think this is what people are looking at. On top of Ekitike, which is the one that
Yeah,
people are looking at.
for Liverpool, our squad keeps getting disrupted. Gomez play and then get injured, and then Bradley comes in now 50-50 in terms of return squad. Gakpo, there seems to be some positive noise about Gakpo coming back, so he may come back. So let's see what happens. Wood suffering cramps. Yeah, well, of course he suffered cramps after starting to finally do well. So you have cramps, and of course absent, although not listed there, Gomez Endo, but Salah is not there either.
Hmm.
Isaac getting hurt just is what we were talking about earlier, makes Ekitike such a nicer pick. The only problem with this match for me is the now, because we just now I was mentioning disruption. So Soboslai is injured. Sorry, suspended. So
Suspended.
suspended. Yeah, so it requires some rejigging. Although we have the personnel, we got McAllister, Gravenberch, Jones. So but it's still really really annoying that we haven't had a settled squad. Yeah. So Wolves, I no comment. I do feel sorry for them. So Liverpool will play. So the thing with this period is just the fact that if Liverpool have a sizable lead, that's when the substitution starts coming in. Now that
Hmm.
Ekitike is the main striker, they might want to keep don't play. I doubt he'll see 90 minutes. By the way, we do have a match, even though it is against Leeds, but we can't take any match for granted. We didn't win against Leeds the last time, so let's not let's not to be to action and think we can survive without our main striker. Yeah, so uh, I saw some people picking up McAllister because he takes
Yep.
pens. Yeah, so
Who will be
McAllister's
the penalty taker? Do you think McAllister will be on the bench?
I think it'd be McAllister. Yeah, if McAllister's on the
Ah,
field, it'll be
man.
McAllister. Yeah. Yeah, I have
Oh, no.
Ekitike. That's my, my viewpoint. But because Zoboslai not there either because he takes penalties for Hungary. Yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's McAllister. Apparently, someone dig up some stat. Ekitike is not a great penalty taker, but then
Yeah.
but
It,
he was
I
probably
don't know.
given a chance. So
If let's say you already scored two, definitely, if let's say there's penalty,
yes,
he
yeah,
will take it.
yeah, yeah.
Question about Frimpong. Will he play this week? I guess so.
Yeah, a lot of thing about Frimpong, and then with the he maybe he'll play on in Salah's spot. There's something that
Hmm.
Slot alluded to earlier in the season, when one of the reason being Frimpong is so he can fill Salah when he's away at AFCON. Yeah, but because he's only just coming back, I wouldn't go out and pick him lah. Especially because he is just coming back, he might get rotated, play this week, and then next
Hmm.
week, he might too risky for me. If for free hit, fine. If you people are a free hit, go for it. Otherwise, nah, it's too expensive to play that game.
Good stuff. Next game, West Ham versus Fulham. I think we did mention about West Ham situation. They are not great. They are 18th place on 13 points, 5 points below Forest, which they really need points from this game. What are they going to do? Is another question. So, what's the attendance for both teams?
Yeah, so West Ham obviously want to bounce back after losing, was it 3-0 to City? Yeah, but it was away and you weren't expecting much. Uh, so yeah, 2 minute press conference, so funny. Um, Skulls is actually one of the fullbacks. So now another fullback could be out. With
Ah,
Bisaka Blue also out. Forget about Fulkrug. um, then so Fulham on the Fulham side, Wilson initially, blah 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 blah. Let's hope we can have it available. My interpretation, nah, is gonna be available. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I think we've missed the boat. I've missed the boat on Wilson, and I do feel sorry for those who picked him up last week. Um, I think he got carded as well, so it was pretty, yeah, pretty annoying. But even though Fulham did win 1-0, yeah, they did win 1-0 with uh, Kevin, uh,
Kevin.
yeah, having an assist, which is, he was one of the big money spenders, and Raul converting the penalty. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I think West Ham should win this one, even though the fullback's off. It's just that West Ham, West Ham if you take out the City game, they have been in decent form. They have, stopped the rot. Against City, it was always going to be tough. But I do think they have, with Bowen, they have a chance of getting something out of this game. Yeah.
Bowen. You mentioned about Bowen. Okay, can we talk about Harry Wilson? I think there's latest quote mentioned that the injury is much worse than expected.
The latest one, now much worse.
It sounds like that.
Yeah,
I read it
I
somewhere.
mean, just I read a few of the things out there, and for me, I don't think he'll start. I don't think I don't think he'll even be on the bench. To be honest,
Hmm.
that's my professional diagnosis.
Correct. Good stuff. Harry Wilson owner, be wary of him. All right, Chelsea versus Villa. We know about Villa uh, winning run right now, and Chelsea at home can be also a tough. Aston Villa are going to face two away game, which is tough on paper, at least Chelsea and Arsenal. So this is what going to happen for the next two at least. So there's some player returning from Chelsea, and someone is going for AFCON for Villa side.
Yeah, so this one is a table, well, one of the top of the table clashes. You got Villa in third and Chelsea
Yep,
in
we
fourth, I
can
think
see
it
that.
was. Yeah. So personally speaking, I have both players on both sides. I got Palmer on the one side and Fernandes on the
Oh,
other. So obviously, I'm hoping there'll be a goal fest involved. Um, Gesson, the last person to fly off to AFCON for Aston Villa. No, nothing on the Aston Villa side. On the Chelsea side, okay, so you've got Estevao and Linyam Delap back, so that will take care of their rotation issues. Estevao will definitely play midweek after this Villa. If he doesn't start this one, he'll definitely start. So I think Chelsea are in a strong position to handle this festive period well. Of course, they got one of the bigger squads, but yeah, and we got with Estevao, you got a potential explosive guy. So if for those of you who are using the free hit in game week 19, man, bringing Estevao, I think that's the ticket, because he'll definitely start that one if he doesn't. Assuming he doesn't start this one. It's going to be a interesting match. I think it will not be one of those KG top of the table matches that we used to. So, but let's see what happens then. With can they stifle Rogers from his low XG but high efficiency shots, and can
Yeah, it reminds me
Palmer?
of Jesse Lingard few season back, right? That's
I
how.
I love him. So this is the last match on Saturday night. Yeah. Um, and Palmer continuing his return, so he clocked even more minutes. And Maresca mentioned he's now ready to play 90 minutes. Sure, he's ready to 90 minutes, but I feel that puts him at risk of the midweek match. So if Maresca wants him to also be involved in the midweek match, I don't think he's going to play 90 minutes here. But to be fair, this is a very tough matchup, so you will want the best players. But I can see Maresca shot when he wants to shut up uh, hold up the shop. No, stop the shop. I can't. Oh, it doesn't come to mind. But anyway, as in like wants just to pull the match to a halt and slow it down.
Yeah,
Palmer's one of those who they will definitely want to take off, especially if they're already leading and
I
then
can
you just want to
imagine, man.
go
If
defense.
Palmer scored a goal in this game, he played almost 90 minutes. He got 3 bonus 1. I can see only one thing will happen in game week 19, which is a traffic for Palmer. If
It's
that's the
such a
case.
short 2 day surge for Palmer, but yeah, I think he'll score. Okay, I said it here. I think he'll score in this match
Right.
because Villa,
Uh,
just to mention, Villa in the last two away games they conceded 2 goals against West Ham and they've also conceded against Leeds. So they're not watertight at the back away. Okay, so I said my set. Go on.
right. Next game, Sunderland versus Leeds, man. Two promoter side. They are on decent form, especially Sunderland at home. So nothing to take away from both team.
Yeah.
But it's going to be an interesting one. So what's the latest news?
Apalah Sunderland ni, I thought everyone who was supposed to get AFCON have already left, and then suddenly got one more person. I was like, still got just how many people
Joining.
are you committing to AFCON? It's crazy. But surprising, in the last 2 games, Sunderland have kept clean back-to-back clean sheets, so you got to give some credit there. Leeds uh, trashing Crystal Palace in the last game out
Oh, yeah.
4-1,
Yeah.
which is, of course,
DCL is
super,
coming back.
Superman DCL, yeah. So yeah, so no issues, no new things for Leeds in terms of injuries. So I'm this could be an interesting match. I think those of you who have Elf, a nice cheap pick midfield 4.9, for most likely taking the penalties.
Uh,
He could be a decent here because Leeds don't do
yeah,
clean sheet
yeah. This is what people are
away.
mentioning now.
Yeah, but I would obviously there's some bias on my side because I have Ballard, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sunderland actually managed to keep a clean sheet here because
I do feel they have potential to keep a clean sheet,
yeah,
especially at home.
so you can consider your Alderete. So they kept clean sheet. Where's that against Brighton, which
Yep.
shocked me. I didn't expect that, and that was playing
Yep.
away.
Yep.
And at home they kept a clean sheet against Newcastle. That derby that wasn't a derby kind of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, but that win would have given them such a huge boost. So yeah, I think Sunderland will keep a clean sheet in this one. Whether or not they score goal, you can see because even though they kept clean sheets, but then goals have been hard to come by for Sunderland. So
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I doubt. I wouldn't be surprised Sunderland didn't win, but just have a draw 0-0 kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised.
Just to remind everyone, Sunderland at sixth place right now, just one um, um, spot down than Liverpool, which is astonishing in terms of their performance. 27 points, only 13 points to secure their Premier League
Premier League,
status, if I
yeah.
can say that. 40 points, so-called
Oh,
threshold that people are mentioning. Yeah.
they'll the Sunderland fans will absolutely love it, and you're getting it so early in this stage, so it's very nice. Well done, Sunderland.
Right, Gustav. I think Sunderland going to keep the clean sheet, and I won't be surprised if let's say you have someone from this United defenders, you could also play him this game. Who knows? Near, right? That can.
Yeah, that's right.
Last but not least, the Crystal Palace versus Spurs in London Derby. Crystal Palace, like you mentioned, being trashed by Leeds United, so they want to perform better at home. For Spurs, they also want to avenge their defeat against Liverpool last week, right? So, but they will need to do without some players. So, what's the latest news?
Yeah, the problem with Crystal Palace right now is because they had these rotation things that didn't fail to come off. They got trashed by Leeds 4-1. And they also lost on penalties against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, so it's a bit demoralizing. I think 7-8 on penalties or something like that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So and then in that match, Chris Richards had the issue. So from the looks of it, he's not going to make it for this week. So those of you,
Ah,
Chris Richards, uh, you hopefully you have the bench to cover. And of course, if you're doing a bench boost, then definitely you need to change him. And Ketia recover, sure, Ketia, no biggie. But the thing is, Spurs have got Romero suspended, and when Romero is suspended, the quality of that defense just drops quite a bit. Yeah, for only one match, but more than enough. I think there's Crystal Palace will really want to, put what happened in the past two games over them. So I fancy them winning this one. I wouldn't be surprised if Mateta scores a brace in this one. They're angry. So yeah.
they're angry, but they're also tired, right? So, Crystal Palace also.
Angry but tired. No, absolutely right. Yeah. Well, Spurs are suffering from ill discipline, getting suspended, apa lah, gone down to 9 men. Oh, nonsense. But the good thing about this game is that those two nonsense players aren't playing, so they might be more disciplined.
Yeah. This the last match of this week. Anyway, Game week 18, so we shall see.
Yeah,
I
not a
have
great
Chris
ending.
Richards, so I'm not sure whether from the looks of it, he might not be able to play, right? But you just never know. We shall
Yeah.
see. Okay, Gustav, let's go to the top transfer game week 18. In and out. No surprise, the most sought players for this week is your player, man, from Liverpool, Ekitike. More than 1.2 million managers has opted him in to the team. And then, wow, I think this is a surprise one. Second place is Rogers from Aston Villa with nearly 930,000 managers has brought him in after, is it back-to-back brace?
Yes, back
Two
to
goals
back
and two
brace.
goals. So there is no surprise if you're in it. But like I mentioned, the next two games on paper will be away to Chelsea Nas. Junior, the most transfer in number 3, 437,000 managers. And surely enough, it could be for the placement of Bruno Fernandes. Rice on 4th. And then DCL, I think I'm surprised with that. But should we surprise because DCL been scoring for the last 5 games or something like that? Right,
Yeah.
yes,
Sure.
the top transfer in for Game Week 18. Who is out for this game week? Bruno Fernandes, 1.5 million managers. So in, and I'm already mentioned that he might be out for a while. Thiago, most likely for Ekitike replacement, right? 970,000. And Azmin did mention about Thiago price is expected to be dropped. And Bomo, no surprise there. FCon and also he will not be playing. And AZ, if you have him, 309,000 managers fields, he should be out this game week. And plus Mateta, despite as we mentioned, he has potential to score big against Spurs.
Yeah.
300,000 managers believe his time is up. So those are transfer traffic for this game week, mate, as of 11:30 p.m. Malaysian time.
Yeah, so Mateta plus Thiago equal Ekitike. That's pretty much it, isn't it? 100, 300, 220. Yeah, all to make space. Yeah, you need a striker space, and so that's where it is. Um, I'm just quietly glowing because the top three transfers in are players who all are in my team. So it's like,
Hebat lah,
okay,
hebat lah.
not like considering Rice as well, but of course, don't worry, it'll never be a all five because I'll never bring DCL. I don't care. I don't give a shit. So yeah. I guess the thing with Rogers, Ekitike fine because there's a lot going for him, even though the lineup keeps getting disrupted now. Soboslai is not there. But we if you've watched doing an eye test on Ekitike, it looks like he sticks to the box a lot more. He doesn't track back as much. So and it seems you would think that that's something Slot is asking him to do, which is spend more time in the box rather than chasing balls and let other people do that work. You get in there and score goals. So it seems to be paying off if that's the case. So well done him. With Rogers, there's a huge narrative on Rogers, especially because of the Chelsea Arsenal match. It's not great, bring him after. But I do feel that it's because Villa are on a great streak. So Rogers may not be fixture proof, but I think he can definitely take the game to both Chelsea and Arsenal. So those who brought him in, don't be discouraged. Uh, don't expect much, lah. If he gets an assist, I'll be happy. Yeah, because I already have him. But because I know you guys brought him in now, um, obviously when you bring this such player, it's going to be long term. And with the one great thing going for Rogers is the minutes. You seldom have to worry about the minutes.
That
So
one I
it's
have to
probably
agree.
one of the reasons. Because even Ekitike is probably going to be a jagger a bit, compared to Rogers. Yeah. Then of course Cunha, also another guy who you don't really need to worry about injury with Cunha. The problem with Cunha, of course, is that Cunha doesn't care, but the United management might care. Amori might care, and kick him out early, because Cunha has a great track record with injuries, but yeah, because they need him for 3 games to play all 3 games until the early January. So that is why, because of the absences and injuries to other players, no Bruno, no Buemo, no Ahmad, so they might have to juggle him a bit more. It's a different situation compared to Rogers. So yeah, I think those are great transfers. Let's see if Ekitike gets hit by the top transfer curse. So we'll see.
Last week, who's the most transfer in? Is it Harry Wilson? Last week.
Wilson, I can't remember.
Could be. It could be. But that thing can happen, right? But I don't think Ekitike will blank against Wolves. That's what I think, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, Ekitike is the most transfer in this week. And I kind of agree. And we shall see whether our transfer plan will involve, not for you, Azmin, because you already have him, whether Ekitike will be in. All right, let's go to next one. Quick one on the suspension. Azmin mentioned about the ban list for this game week. Zamin Simmons will start his 3-match suspension after being red carded against Liverpool. Soboslai will serve his 1-match ban when we are needing him against Wolves. So Soboslai is out. When Azmin mentioned offline to me when I'm thinking about getting Soboslai this week, he said, hey, Soboslai kena suspend lah. So he's out from my option for this week. Christian Romero also after second yellow card against Liverpool, and Luke Onion will serve his last match ban from the 3-match previously. People who returning this week from suspension, Casemiro, the forgotten man, I suppose 5.5 million for Manchester United. Could he be an option instead of Cunha? He could be. Muscara from Wolves, Luis Chang, and Diego Gomez from Brighton, timely against Arsenal. On suspension tightrope, players on 4 yellow cards, there's a lot of players there. Is that if let's say you hit your 5th yellow card by game week 19, which is next week, you will automatically serve 1-match ban. So who is on 4 yellow card in this game week, which is most importantly, some of the players are highly owned, maybe Semenyo, right? 4 yellow cards, Tarkowski on 4 yellow cards. If you're thinking about getting any Everton defenders, okay, I just who else here? Donnarumma, your player main, but don't think right he will get that 5th yellow card anytime soon, right? So who else? Dorgu. You mentioned about that option. He's on 4 yellow cards.
Ah, I
So
didn't know that.
and Bruno G. Also in my mind, I have 4 yellow
Yeah,
cards.
that one I
Who
know.
else? Li Fei on 4 yellow cards. People are thinking about him at 4.9 million. I think those are the popular picks. If you still have the last of Vanderbilt, he also on 4 yellow cards.
Yeah, so those of us who still have a decent number of transfers left from those five that we were given, if you have more than one player on this special tightrope, you probably want to hang on to those transfers and make sure they get through unscathed. Otherwise, you just have to selling him will be a waste, but it might just have to happen. Um, then because you got Semenyo and because in this week where the bench is more important than ever, that's why this suspension tightrope becomes very critical. So those are people who have Cash, Bruno G, Collins, Semenyo, um, Leafy, Vanderven, and for me, Donnarumma. So these are players that it could definitely hurt you if they get suspended for the next week because other than suspension, we know that suddenly someone's injured because of the short turnaround time. Someone's not ready to play. So think twice about bringing a
Yep.
someone who's on the suspension tightrope. Yeah,
You're
in this
aware of
period.
that potential. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the projected goals and clean sheet for this week before we go to our team. Who's on the most high in terms of projected goals this week? I don't think there's a surprise. Liverpool on 2.65 goals predicted for this week, the highest so far. Then Arsenal at 2.12 against Brighton this week at home. And then I think Man City 1.98 goals against Forest despite playing away. So City are still comfortably. They are second place, like we mentioned, 2 points away from Arsenal. So they are net on net in terms of battle of the title, league title race against Arsenal. So both teams are. And then after that, slightly lower, Chelsea 1.75, and then United at 1.59. That's why those just some players there. In terms of clean sheet odds, the highest is also no surprise. Liverpool again, 45% to keep a clean sheet against Woeful Wolf. And then 41% Arsenal to keep a clean sheet against Brighton, but Azmin might not agree on that. And then the next one is Everton, away to Burnley. Interesting, 38% at City, 35% away to Forest. Other than that, all are going to be pretty tight. Match United, Newcastle, Sunderland, and Leeds. You can see there. West Ham, Fulham, Brentford, Bournemouth. Yeah, those are the matches for this week. Will, do you agree? Liverpool is the team that we should target in terms of related goals and clean sheet odds.
Yeah, in terms of CS, yes, definitely, because and that's probably why people have Virgil Van Dijk as the defender of choice. Those of you really don't have a budget, then Konate, but apparently Konate hasn't trained, so I can't remember what the team use was. But regardless, on the goal side, you got 2.65, and this for once I kind of agree. No, I still think I still think it's a bit too high. And Liverpool are in that part where they just need to make sure they get win and then they can be ready for the next match because they have a lot of catching up to do. So like Arsenal, they may be content. At 2-0, they'll just try to shut up. I don't know if the Liverpool can shut up shop, but yeah, against Wolves, I guess it's quite likely that they can do that. Yeah, I'm not this time around. You know how I always dispute these things, but this time around, I think most of it's fairly accurate. I do think Aston Villa's goal threat is higher. Was is the gap between us Aston Villa's goal threat and Chelsea shouldn't be that bigger. I think Aston Villa, away, just now I mentioned they conceded 2 goals against West Ham. They did score 3 goals. So they did end up winning that match, even though they conceded 2 goals. So yeah, that's why I just think that they can still Chelsea can still win by concede goals. Just to point out for the Crystal Spurs match, if it's a free hit, Mateta sure. Otherwise, don't bother. because that could be a boring match. It's a London derby, but it's the last game, and then what's on their minds is because they'll at the back it has to think also of the next game as well. This is the last game of the week. Yeah, so they may not play as optimum. So I would avoid.
Right. We talk about conversation in terms of captaincy. I know people were going to go Haaland, but at 2.65, Ice Cold Jones 498 did mention whether Haaland or Ekitike for captaincy this week. Is there any potential that people can jump to Ekitike for captaincy this week?
Yeah, definitely possible. Sorry about that. Haaland and Ekitike both strikers, so don't have that extra point argument and midfield kind of thing. No, at the end of the day, Liverpool's disruption to the squad means I still think that Haaland is still the better option for captaincy.
But if you are on a high risk, I think Ekitike could have potential bigger haul than Haaland this week, if I'm right. You could actually score epic against Wolves. There's a potential there. But Haaland away to Forest. Sean Dyche.
Dyche was going to try to play the shut up shop kind of thing game and make it frustrate City.
It's City ground, right? It's going to be tough. Okay.
To think about Ekitike versus Haaland, because obviously
I think the obvious choice is Haaland. It might be the boring one, but if you're willing to go for Ekitike this week, there's some upside definitely against Wolves. I don't think Liverpool going to perform like Arsenal the last 2 weeks where Arsenal almost not win against Wolves and only scored 1 goal, right? So I think that could be the case. Ekitike is on fire right now, right? Double-digit high and 9 points last week. So so he has form. That's all I can say.
It's a play. Form.
And his minutes should be more secure than before. That's all.
Yes. Minutes wise, the only risk is if they sub him out early to make sure he's okay for the midweek. But no contest in terms of other players there.
In the next 6 game week, at least 18, 19, 20, 21, who are on the top ticker right now? West Ham. If you believe in West Ham, Bowen could be in your conversation. Paqueta in midfield if you want to go cheap. They face Fulham, Brighton at home. Then Wolves, Forest, Spurs, and Sunderland. So we have Wolves and Sunderland there. For West Ham, they are desperate for points for sure. Everton, we talk about that. At least on defensive side, they have potential to keep better clean sheet. Burnley, Forest, Brentford, Wolves, Villa and Leeds get 3 promoted side there. Burnley and Leeds, no Sunderland there, but Wolves is there. Newcastle, United here, but after that they have Burnley, Crystal Palace, Leeds, and Wolves. So that's a nice 4 set of games. And like yourself, you have Bruno G. I think you are in the good place there. So Brentford, they play the next 3 games at home. Bournemouth, Spurs, Everton away, and then Sunderland before they face Chelsea and Forest. Spurs, if you're thinking about Spurs, I'm not sure about Crystal Palace, Brentford, and Sunderland. Then Bournemouth, 3 away games there in the next 4. And then they face West Ham and Burnley. Maybe after that run of fixture. City still have excellent fixture. Forest and Sunderland despite playing back-to-back away. Then Chelsea, Brighton, then United and Wolves in the next 60. Excellent fixture there. In the bottom ticker, 3 teams there, Wolves, Villa and Bournemouth. So after Brentford, then Bournemouth face Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, and then Liverpool in next 6. So not good on paper. At least the Villa, they face Chelsea and Arsenal before their fixture turning better. Forest, Crystal Palace, Everton, and Newcastle. I don't think people will go to any Wolves asset for sure. So
this is is where the fixture thing comes in, where we were talking about Bowen just now. They're right at the top of the ticker, and this is where they're gonna feel that they need to get as many points from as possible because to in the battle for survival. So which is great. Everton, they got a nice fixture set, but then with players' absences, no KDH, no India, it just makes it hard to pick them at the moment, regardless of fixtures. But yeah, I'm sure that those who did go for Grealish, all the best to you. I'm not so keen. I probably what if I had space, I'd probably pick more inclined to pick up a defense rather than someone rather than attacking.
Keen
So
or keen someone that.
sorry, I'm rambling a bit. Okay, Brentford. When I look at Brentford's uh fixtures, I'm thinking, man, can I get Thiago back for Spurs? Because uh, but then when I look at it back again, Spurs, Everton, that's not great away at Everton's new stadium. Then Sunderland's not a great matchup. Chelsea's not a great matchup. Forest not a great matchup. I'm reading the right line, right? Yeah. So as much as I want i- him for Spurs, and hey, if you guys doing a free hit in Gameweek 19, then yeah, you should definitely get him. Long term, not not keen on having him long term. So now that I look at it more, my seller's remorse has abated. I'm not so upset now. One match, the Spurs match lah. Hmm. So
Okay.
other than that, just a quick one on the Spurs. Yeah, Spurs one look good. It's just again the problem of picking who's gonna do well, which midfielder. So it's just a no go for me.
Can I say, if you're talking about Liverpool, this is the right time to entry point. They face Wolves and Leeds in the next two before away to Fulham, Arsenal, then Burnley again in game week 22, which is nice. So I think
Look,
this is.
no, it's really really good. And the thing is, it's just because if Arsenal are there, because otherwise they might be like second or third on the
Mm-hmm. You
chicken.
are
It's
right.
just because
Yeah, you are
one Arsenal red there that skews the whole thing. Because look at that, you got Burnley, you got Bournemouth who are horrible run at the moment, Leeds, Wolves. It's crazy. So yeah, I can see people taking weights crazy as it sounds, but if it's a long run, it definitely makes sense. I tried looking at it, but I can't find a way, and there are other players I want more. But I definitely might look into bringing in another Liverpool asset if they do really well against Wolves.
Chelsea this week. Good stuff. Let's go to our team. I think we go to your team first, man, because your team are more settled than me. You have
Okay.
two free transfer and 0.5 million in the bank.
Yeah, so I got Donnarumma in goal. Yeah, I had some brief thing of should Dubravka at home against Everton be better. Then nah, screw it, keep it Donnarumma. Leave Dubravka as a backup. So Ballard, Timber, Anderson in my back three. Then Bruno G, Tavernier, Cunha, Palmer, Rogers, Ekitike, Haaland with Haaland captaincy. So it's decent. I'm just really yeah. Just now we were talking about the transfers I already have. So when the rest of the squad is stable, this is when I feel like taking a punt. And to that end, that's why I'm considering KLP. So who played our position for Brentford as a midfielder. He's listed as a defender. The game before that, he got a clean sheet and against Leeds, and that was because that game ended 1-1, but because he got subbed out earlier before the goal,
Wah,
so he got
wah,
a clean
so
sheet.
untung ah.
So these two scenarios, I don't mind getting sub earlier when they still have a clean sheet and getting a clean sheet, or he stays on and ends up scoring two goals. Both scenarios, I'm happy to lion. So the question is, how do I get him in? Because Tiao, who has been pants for me this since I brought him, but as Hafiz mentioned, pointed out earlier today, Tiao is gonna face Burnley. Newcastle are gonna face Burnley in the next match, and the chances you probably keep a clean sheet then, so it might be worthwhile keeping him. So, Ballard, no, Ballard sayang, not going anywhere. So I'm
And the
actually
other issue you mentioned, man, you cannot easily change day off to KLP, right? That's the issue.
yes, 0.5. Imagine that. That's not enough because KLP is 4.8 and Tube is now back to 4.0. So
Oh
it's
my
really
god.
So 0.3 short of doing that. Otherwise, it was a done deal for me. But because it's Tiao, I'm still deciding. I'll, I'll probably go for it in the end. It's just the question is then if I'm gonna play him, then who do I bench? So I'm looking between Tavernier and Anderson. Lah. So Anderson, who's used to being on the bench in teams. The thing with why I feel the biggest candidate is Anderson to get the bench is because West Ham need to bounce back. And away, yeah, I feel that at home West Ham they're gonna do much better and after bouncing back against that City defeat.
I,
And
I
from
kind of agree.
yeah, so that is what I'll most likely do if I go through with the if I brave it out lah for the Burnley
Which is
match.
definitely you will do it, right? So
Ah,
that's something,
yeah, there
right.
you go.
Good
So,
stuff.
yeah, so very very frustrating, very funny when I'm struggling to find okay where do I want to improve. It's not a not a normal feeling for me. So that's it. That's my team.
Right, good stuff. Good luck to you. And let's take a look at my team. I have 4 free transfer and 0.3 million in the bank. And I would like to mention I already made 2 transfer. And I do believe Ekitike and 3 point is the right one this week. But what playing in my mind whether for Thiago as my options to replace to get in ATK and replace Thiago, or change formation, which I've decided in the end to change my formation to 3-4-3 formation. I will bring 3 up front there. You can see ETK, Haaland, and Thiago up front. I take out Bruno Fernandes and use all the money. Bruno Fernandes is at 9 million and ATK already at 9 million. Can you imagine that? Bruno at 9.1.
Aiyo.
So, okay. So then I change position and bring in ATK out due and then go for the cheapy one Potts from West Ham United who
Yeah, all right.
at 4.4 million who are also taking uh, corners and some set pieces I believe and but most likely he will be my third bench anyway. And you can see for this week I'll play 4-3-3, man.
Yeah.
Kelleher in goal, Timber, Alderete, I believe he has some merits. He already kept back-to-back clean sheet. You mentioned that. He almost get 1 bonus point last week, which are not. And then Orally away to Forest, and then Richards. Play Richards at home, despite the team news mentioned that Richards might be out this game, but you just never know. If Richards play, Crystal
Yeah, I
Palace
think
could have a chance to keep a clean sheet against Spurs. So that's why I believe over Anderson, which is away. Despite Anderson can have a better DEFCON potential against West Ham. Then Foden, Semenyo, and Saka. Semenyo could be last week. I'm having him before moving him out next week. There's some fixture swing will happen next week, especially for United and Newcastle. And then 3 up front, Ekitike, Haaland, and Thiago. And I believe, as much I'm thinking, but there's potential ATK to be my captaincy. But without Soboslai, there is a concern the creativity part. So so maybe I just keep Haaland. Don't all in sangat tu Ekitike lah. That's what I believe.
yes, I'm on the same boat. Playing a bit more conservative for me. Just question on Potts. Do you consider Miley from Newcastle before you went for Potts?
Yeah. You mentioned that 4.4. Miley at 4.4. It's tough. After looking at some stats, Miley could have a better stats of XG, but could
But
Miley play all these minutes? Potts also maybe not so much more, but
yeah,
really it's the toss of coin. So I decided to go for Potts.
yeah, fair enough. So and West Ham for long term, Potts has the better fixtures for longer term anyway. So yeah, so good luck. So you yeah, okay.
Okay. You might want to ask. Uh, you don't want to play Minte away to Arsenal. I believe the defender might have better potential in terms of points this week.
Yeah, I can't see because Mintes in pants. Give him a bench for once and let him score for you from the bench. Uh, but in terms of the substitute lineup, you remember Anderson lah. I guess his DEFCON probability is
Yeah,
higher and against Arsenal. Yeah, fair enough.
probably. But yeah, And I think this also a good opportunity. People can ask, why don't you take to get in us Cunha straight away this week? Maybe just give one more week to see information whether Cunha is really the one, especially
Yeah,
one to like now.
if you play that
Yeah.
front three, mid three, 4-3-3 for the Semenyo Osaka, it's hard to remove anyone from there. So yeah, Semenyo did score um, 2 goals in a row now after a long blank. So let's see if he manages to keep it against Brentford. Your keeper.
Yeah,
So
so that won't be nice. But if they say that game will be a high scoring game, I don't know, and Thiago and Semenyo could score in the special. Another option I could play Dobraka over Kelleher, but can I trust Burnley at home against Everton? I'm not too sure.
Kelleher's a bit player.
So Bournemouth has potential conceding goals of late right now. And if let's say Bournemouth decided not to score goals, then Kelleher could keep clean sheet. So I just want to be in that position.
I'm picking if I pick the defender, I will from Brentford. Yeah, I support you in that decision.
Okay, fine. All right, that's the team selection. I do feel I'm going to bring that to a free transfer next week, and then there'll be more things to tackle next week. I'm pretty sure with that recovery period of short time. Last, before we end our deadline streaming, I know it will be 1 hour away from the actual deadline when we tonight. FPL Jedi League. This is the community. If you want to join us, do join at league code zwxrhj, and you can see myself after that 86 point. I've jumped to third place right now, but Beta still at first place with 1086 total points. So 10 points away, 13 points away. So it's going to be tight. But his team on the right side, you can see there, you got Verbruggen 11 pointer there. Chaloba, Virgil, Deep Blank, and Timber. He has Rice and Saka in midfield.
Right, Saka in the
Semenyo,
main.
Gordon, and he has Bruno Fernandes to deal with, and he doesn't have Ekitike. This will be this week decision.
Yes. Oh, yep. I'll we'll look at this at the deadline. And I'm gonna see Ekitike lah. I think so.
So he could do that, yep, bring Ekitike, but he will not have Thiago. I don't think he will have Thiago.
Oh,
Alternatively, he could go to Cunha, Saka, Cunha, and Rice, and just save some money. So he could also do that.
good luck. Good luck. Nice to see the top 10 tussle, which includes you.
Yeah. And would like to give shout out in the top 10 right now. 1, 2, 3 go at second place. S11 Yara Spartans at fourth, down a bit after scoring only 66 points, but equal with my points. SMT with fifth place. Red to Liverpool jumping back into the conversation at sixth place. Skynet 7. JW33 at eighth place. AJ Dragon and Jerem Mari FC in the top 10.
Well done, guys. And let's see how we go by the end of the year.
Good stuff. That's all from our day. I think we already addressed all the questions. So your last word, Bin.
Yep, thanks for watching. And there's a lot of that live streams going on. Yeah, and and there are those that will continue to go right up until the
Yep.
deadline.
Yep.
Yeah, but we being located in Malaysia, I don't have that capacity to stay. I'm already yawning like mad. So for those who can still stay, if you want to see if we can get any early new team news, but this it's not a big deal really, because I think if you already had Cunha, you have Bruno G or but the Gordon one, if you want to, if you, but I wouldn't have doubts about Gordon not starting. He should start.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
he will start.
it's more minutes as to how much minutes he
Yeah.
gets. But I guess Wisa versus Walter could Wisa start instead? I don't know. So yeah, if you have that risk or you want to take that risk, then you might want to wait till nearer to the deadline. Otherwise, enjoy, and I'll be waking up in the next tomorrow morning to check the results. Good
Right.
luck if you
Good
do
start,
stay.
everyone. Thank you for joining our day live stream. Do hit the like button and subscribe to our FPL Jedi YouTube channel and support us. Until then, inshallah, we'll stream on the Game Week 90 deadline. Hopefully, we'll do that on Tuesday night. So before that New Year, is it? Or something like that.
God.
All right.
You put that on. Okay. All right. Thanks everyone. Good night.
Take care and have a good week for sure. Bye.